I was born in Pittsburgh. It was the time when people used to say in Pittsburgh, let's see, they said two things. If they asked you what color snow was, you'd always answer black or gray because of the steel mills. When I was leaving Pittsburgh, my friends would say, there's three ways to get out of Pittsburgh. Join the mob, play football, or die. I played football and did art. My father was an usher at Pittsburgh Pirates. So when I saw this, I picked it up and I'm gonna use it somewhere. I have no idea where, but maybe something like that. I'll put it in here, yeah. And then for my mother, I'll put flowers. And I used to go to the see the light shows and the shows of galaxies, so I'll put a galaxy in there too. Why not? When I was 6 years old, I had rheumatic heart, and I had to stay in bed for 2 years. And you have a choice if you're in bed. You either notice everything around you, or you get very depressed. I noticed everything. I noticed the shadow coming across the ceiling, and the speed it went, and what it looked like at different times. I never lose anything. I mislay it sometimes for years, but I never lose it. I never make a mistake. I have thousands of learning experiences working this way. A third grade teacher, after I was sick for 2 years, a third grade teacher saw me drawing Goldilocks and the Three Bears. She says, I gotta send you to art school. So that fall, I went to Carnegie Museum of Art, and I studied with all the artists in town. I studied with the museum people. I walked by artworks every Saturday, and I did that till I was 18. When I was 18, after winning 51 awards, one of the awards was a scholarship to the Philadelphia Academy of Fine Arts. My football coach, though, said, for a summer, I'm going to send you to North Carolina, where you'll meet poets, playwrights, artists, and one lady who taught me manners, speech, some writing, and she says, you've got to go to Dartmouth. I said, but I have a scholarship. She said, no, Robert Frost is at Dartmouth. You got to go to Dartmouth. So I went to Dartmouth because of Robert Frost and football. So for 3 years I played football until I had 3 concussions, 4 broken noses, and at the last concussion, the school asked me what I wanted, and that opened a different door. I said a new nose, and so they gave me plastic surgery on the nose. This is a bionic nose I have now. I became an English major. One of the reasons I became an English major, I couldn't write English. I wrote Pittsburgh. I didn't know grammar, punctuation, all that kind of thing. And my freshman essays all got D's and F's. Except one day, one of the freshman English teachers said, you don't know how to write English. I said, what do you mean? He says, you write Pittsburgh. He says, did you do any of your homework in high school? I said, no. I said, if you played football, you didn't have to do all your homework. Western Pennsylvania, football was king. And so he said, well, come in once a week. I'll teach you grammar. I'll teach you English. He did. I can't remember his name, but I remember his face, and I remember what he did for me. It changed my life. It opened a door. And since then, I've been writing. I paint, I draw, I do all this kind of thing, but I write. Because words mean a great deal to me. One day I went to Robert Frost. He was poet in residence at Dartmouth College for 4 years while I was there. And I went to Robert Frost. I said, we're studying right now, The Road Not Taken. And can you tell me what it means? And he looked at me and smiled his kind of fatherly smile and said, I don't know. I said, what do you mean you don't know? You're the poet. you have to know what this means. He said, no, no. I write poems with holes in them so anyone in the universe could put themselves into the poem. That has changed my life. I do that in my artwork. I don't fill it in totally. I don't even know what some of the things mean, but I put them in there because it might open doors for other people. And like the way Robert Frost opened the door for my whole life. But he said, if you read it aloud, you'll get the meaning for yourself. Well, that took me 10 years. One day, I read it aloud to my students. Before that, I just said it. I should be telling this with a sigh. Some were ages and ages hence. 2 roads diverged in the wood, and I took one less drive by, and that's made all the difference. I thought it meant you're a Republican or a Democrat. You're gay or you're straight. You're male or you're female. You have only 2 roads. But I listened to it. The beginning of that is S sounds. Shh, shh, shh. The middle is short Anglo-Saxon sounds. And the last part of that is S sounds again. So I should have been saying it like this. I shall be telling this with a sigh. Somewhere ages and ages hence. 2 roads diverge in a wood. And I took the one less traveled by. And that has made all the difference. It's an ABA form. Theme, variation, theme. I only learned that later. But I heard it for the first time. And since then, I've said it like that. I don't say it any longer. I told my students, okay, you got 2 choices. They have multiple choices. If you open doors, you have multiple choices because you don't know what's on the other side. My son is mentally challenged. He's adopted from North Korea. Therefore, he has long legs and he runs fast. He was running the 440. And he came around the far bend. And I was yelling, run, Chris, run, win, Chris, win. And he's coming down, he's 10 yards ahead of everybody else. He'd run these guys before. He was ahead of them then, too. And he's 10 yards ahead. He stops 5 yards from the finish line. He turns around, has everybody line up, they take hands, and they walk across the finish line. That changed my life. From then on, winning was not me only. It was you, too, whoever you were. So it went from I to you. And that has changed how I work. If I can take something from somebody else and use it, I will, but I'll give them credit. I probably at one time would not have given them credit. But everybody, and Steve Jobs did this. He said, I take the mathematics I use were not made by me. The language I use was not made by me. Buddhism, which he accepted, was not made by me, but I use all those. But I'll tell you about it because I give credit for it. And he does to advance, for instance. That's coming from Steve Jobs, somewhere down Evolve. All this stuff is from Steve Jobs. He was somebody else that changed my life. One of the things he said was, he took it from Bob Dylan. Bob Dylan said, if you're not busy being born, you're busy dying. And so Steve Jobs said, every morning I'm busy being born. I wake up and I have to have a new idea. People think innovation is accepting one idea. And he said, no, it's rejecting thousands of ideas for one good one. So it's what I reject is important, not what I accept. I know what I hit, what I accept. You know, and that's what art is for me, and that's what these things are doing.
We go outside and we shoot a couple in the daylight.
people say, who are these people? Celebrities. That's all you need to tell them. They're celebrities.